Aloha, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 85 on YouTube. Thank you guys for making it to 85 episodes on Tiggy Maximus Talks. Hope you guys been following me on YouTube and Spotify, providing you with a lot of content about food, comedy shows, and sports. You guys are in for a treat. Today is basically a sports equinox day. You got UFC 288. You got Canelo versus Ryder. You got Padres and Dodgers today. Um, you also have the Kentucky Derby 2023 happening. Uh, you also have NBA playoffs. I'm looking forward to Lakers and Warriors tonight. We also have the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs going on. A lot of stuff to talk about here. Um, let's just start with UFC 288. Big fights tonight. You got the Bantamweight Championship on the line. The 135-pound champion Aljamain Sterling. He's defending his championship against the former champion Henry Cejudo. Oh, it's going to be a good fight. It's hard to pick a guy who's doing pretty well, collecting championships, gold medals. He calls himself Triple C. He's a gold medalist, Henry Cejudo. He was the 125-pound champion. He was the 135-pound champion. And if Henry Cejudo does defeat Aljamain Sterling tonight and take back his 135 championship, he does have plans to challenge the 145 champion Alex Volkanovski. And if Henry Cejudo can pull it off, he'll be the first ever 3-division champion in UFC history. That would be pretty awesome. In a way, I'm kind of pulling for it, so it should be exciting. Now, I usually do my predictions, so I'm going to go do that. So, main event, Sterling versus Henry Cejudo for the 135 championship. Sterling has surprised me a few times now. He's proved me wrong in the last few fights, and this should be a good fight. I could probably see this going 5 rounds. It might be going to decision, actually. So I will probably say Cejudo will defeat Aljamain Sterling, and he will take back his 135 championship. That's my pick for tonight. Next up, we have a co-main event in the welterweight division. We got Bilal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. You guys like my Chargers tank top? So this one's a good fight. Top 5 contenders in the welterweight division, and honestly, I'm pulling for Gilbert Burns to win and possibly challenge the winner of the Leon Edwards Colby Covington 170 championship fight. So, yeah, Burns over Muhammad. I like Muhammad, but I have a feeling that Burns is going to pull it off tonight. So, that's my pick. Next up, we have a women's strawweight fight. Zaunan versus Andrade. I think they both won like their last fight or something. I know Zaunan is climbing her way up the 115 ladder. And I would say if Zaunan actually pulls off the victory, she's in line for a title shot at the 115 champion. That should be Zhang Wei Li. So that's going to be an interesting one because both from China. I wonder if they'll be willing to fight each other. I think they will for the interest of the sport. Um, but we'll see what happens. But I'm picking Zauna to beat Jessica Andrade. Next up, we have a featherweight fight. We got Evolev versus Lopez. Evolev has not lost a fight. He's 16-0, heavy favorite, and Lopez 21-5. Not an easy opponent, but I got a feeling that um, submission versus takedown and striker. I'm still picking Ev, Evloev, Evlov. I call him Evloev. Yeah, I think he's gonna go 17-0. What do you guys think? Um, let's see what else. Next fight is the opener of the main card of 288. You got Gracie going up against Jourdain. Uh, I would say Gracie should pull off the victory over Jourdain. I think it's going to be a good one. Next up, we have a fight between. It's the feature prelim lightweight fight between Dober and Frivola. Things gonna go back and forth. A lot of striking gonna be involved. There'll be some takedowns. Maybe one submission, but honestly, I'm picking Frivola to win the fight against Dober. Next up, we have a light heavyweight fight. Clark versus Nezchukwu. Um, honestly, this one's gonna be a good explosive fight. I have a feeling Nezchukwu is gonna pull off the victory. Um, I would say it might be by TKO. So, next up we have a welterweight fight, and I'm pretty sure there will be some explosion in this one. It might be a knockout. You got Chaos Williams, 13-3, going up against Bedoya, 14-1. Not gonna be an easy fight, but I have a feeling Chaos Williams is gonna pull off the victory in this one. And this one I'm looking forward to. It's a women's strawweight fight. You got Marina Rodriguez, 16-2-2, going up against Jandy Roba, 18-3. Should be a good fight. It actually might go all 3 rounds. But I'm picking Marina Rodriguez to win this one and climb back up the 115 ladder again. Maybe Marina Rodriguez will challenge for the championship. Might be one of those top 5 contenders. I'm pretty sure Zhang Wei Li has a lot of contenders waiting for her. But I'm pretty sure Zhang Wei Li wants a third fight with Rose, the Namajunas. So yeah, Zhang Wei Li has some options. So yeah, picking Marina Rodriguez to win that fight. Next up, we have some early prelims. We have a heavyweight fight between Smith and Porter. Should be a decent fight. A lot of heavy hitters. I'm probably guessing there's going to be a knockout in this one. I'm pulling for Smith to beat Porter. Next up, we have a middleweight fight between Haas and Ali Skurov. This one should be an interesting one. We got some striking going on, and we might see some takedowns and a submission. But I am picking Ali Skurov to beat Haas in this one. And then we got the first fight of the 288 card. We got a middleweight fight between Holmes, 8-3, and 10-3 Ribeiro. I'm picking Ribeiro to win this one. So there you have it, guys. Those are my fight picks for UFC 288. Follow those picks. Go to a good place to watch them. Have some good company, good food. Since we're still talking about fights, I'll just mention I'm picking Canelo to be Ryder. I don't know if Ryder's going to put up too much of a fight, but he might shock some people. But don't know much about him. But you know what? I am still picking Canelo, and I'm actually looking forward to the rematch between Canelo and Bivol. So let's see what happens, or if Canelo were to fight one of the Charlo brothers. Yeah. So those are my thoughts about those fights. Also want to mention the Lakers are playing the Warriors tonight. It's gonna be Game 3. We have some good series going on. We got the Heat, the 8 seed of the East, facing the 5 seed. New York Knicks. That series is tied 1-1. Heat took game 1, Knicks took game 2. Butler's hurt, Randall's kind of hurt. But I think they're both available for the series, but yeah, to double check that. Um, this series, I figure, is going to go 7 games. I would say the Knicks will win in 7. On the other side of the East bracket, you got the 2 seeded Boston Celtics and the 3 seed 76ers. Joel Embiid is back, but he started off pretty injured, so I think the Celtics should have enough to beat the Sixers. I would say they're going to beat them 4-1. But I could see it going 6 games, but I'm picking Celtics to win anyway. I'm thinking Celtics versus Knicks will be the Eastern Conference Finals matchup. On the other side, they mentioned Lakers and Warriors. Lakers the 7 seed, the Warriors are the 6 seed. Your defending NBA champions, the Warriors. That should be a fun series. I would say it's going to go 6 to 7 games. I would say the Lakers were to beat the Warriors in 6. I could see it happening. Honestly, I don't want the series to end up on Mother's Day because Game 7 is on Mother's Day, May 14th. So cross my fingers. And the fact that I am going to a comedy show on May 12th. So, in a way, I kind of want the Lakers to finish the series with the Warriors on May 10th, win it in Game 5 in Golden State. Finish the series. But honestly, I do realistically see that the Lakers will win the series in 6. I don't want it to go to 7 games because Game 7 in Golden State, I don't have a great feeling about that, much less any Game 7 the Lakers are in. I know I've seen the Lakers win Game 7s, but honestly, I don't want to see it. It's a lot of stress. And anywho, yeah, I would say Lakers defeat the Warriors. Hopefully, win both games in LA and go up 3-1 in the series and go back to San Francisco, Golden State, up 3-1. Maybe you know, you know, kind of just to expose the fact that the Warriors don't have any big men on their team. So there's no inside game, and they'll only just shoot 3-pointers. And you only can only, if you're gonna win by shooting threes, you better make most of them. The Lakers have a more balanced attack. They got guys who can drive. They got guys who can post up, and they do have some 3-point shooters. So a mixed bag of goodies there. But Lakers won game 1 very soundly, 117-112. But in game 2, the Lakers couldn't hold up and defend the 3-point shooting. Warriors, I think they won 127, 100. So that wasn't pretty. And the fact that the Lakers were actually up in the first quarter 33-26. So that tells you a lot about what happened in the second and third quarters. It was ugly. From what I saw, they were both like 40-point quarters for the Warriors. So made up the deficit pretty well and made a huge big lead. And I think the Warriors were up by 30 plus at the end of three. So yikes. On the other side of the West bracket, you got the number one seed Denver Nuggets and the four seed Phoenix Suns. Um, you have all the stars out. You got Kevin Durant, CP3, Devin Booker, going up against Jokic and Jamal Murray. Um, honestly, I would say Nuggets will beat the Suns. I want to say maybe 4-1, but I can see it going 6 games too. But right now, it's 2-1 Nuggets leading the Suns. So hopefully, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Nuggets, and the Lakers make it to the third round. So those should be some fun matches. But enjoy the next 10 days, guys. A lot of great playoff action. Um, Speaking of playoffs, NHL hockey. You got the Golden Knights. They are up 1-0 on the Edmonton Oilers. That should be a fun, exciting hockey game. I'm pulling for the Golden Knights to win that one. Obviously, on the other side of the bracket, you got the Kraken, who won their first playoff series as an expansion team in year two, and they also won, their first game in the second round. So, but the series is tied 1-1 between the Stars and the Kraken. I'm pulling for the Kraken in that one. So you have Golden Knights and the Kraken, the last two expansion teams, and have a representative in the Stanley Cup Finals. On the other side of the bracket, you got the Hurricanes and the Devils. As of right now, the Carolina Hurricanes are leading the New Jersey Devils 2-0. I think the Hurricanes are going to win that series. Not too worried about it. I am pulling for the Hurricanes to win the Stanley Cup, actually, at this point. The other thing is the Florida Panthers, the surprise of the tournament. They defeated the number one team in the NHL, the Boston Bruins, who had the most regular season points in NHL history and also the most regular season wins in NHL history. But unfortunately, the Bruins didn't make it. So the Florida Panthers are on a run because they're leading 2-0 in the series against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who I think was the next most likely Stanley Cup winner, odds-wise. But Florida Panthers are already going back home with a 2-0 lead. So I think they could pull it off. And this reminds me of the LA Kings pulling off 4 straight upsets to win the Stanley Cup championship in 2012 as a number 8 seed. And I think the LA Kings had like the best magical run possible in the Stanley Cup history, but it looks like the Florida Panthers are about to pull something off here, close to that. So I'm kind of keeping tabs on that. So, although I do hope the Maple Leafs beat the Panthers, but I don't know if they can come back from this actually. So, but nonetheless, I am still pulling for the Hurricanes So if the Hurricanes were to face the Panthers, I hope the Hurricanes can beat the Panthers. So the Hurricanes will beat the Kraken or the Golden Knights. So yeah, fun basketball playoffs and hockey playoffs. I would like to mention shortly here the Sango Seals, the number one team in the Western Conference of the National Lacrosse League. They had the one game playoff in the first round with the Colorado Mammoth. It's 4 versus 1 in the Western Conference playoffs for the NLL playoffs of 2023, and unfortunately, the number one seeded San Diego Seals fell short. They lost 13-12 to the Colorado Mammoth, who are your defending NLL champions. So, who knows if the Colorado Mammoth might be making a repeat, so a two-peat. Uh, it's kind of sad because I did go to the San Diego Seals outdoor first ever outdoor NLL game in NLL history. For indoor lacrosse to have their first ever outdoor lacrosse game, that was pretty special to go to, as the San Diego Seals did defeat the Las Vegas Desert Dogs. But unfortunately, Colorado has always been a thorn as our rivals. So can't believe it. Colorado Mammoth eliminated the San Diego Seals for the second straight playoff season. So hopefully the San Diego Seals got some stuff to work on in the off season and make a better team and keep their stranglehold on beating most of the Western Conference teams and push forward and get to the finals. Win that championship in 2024. I can feel it. So other than that, I did go to a comedy show at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. It was a roast battle. It was a decent show overall. It was hosted by Gordon Downs. The first comic was Brian Moses. My first time seeing the guy. Funny guy. He was like one of maybe 4 comics that opened up before the roast battles were to start. You got Brian Moses. I think his stuff was pretty funny. He got the crowd laughing. I would say it was easily an 8.4 out of 10. Next up, I believe it was Victoria Parra. Great comic. She has some mostly old jokes, some new ones, I guess. She does work at the Comedy Store, so that's good. And I would say her comedy on Wednesday night was let's say it was maybe an 8 out of 10. I would say, the next person that came up was Bijan Mostavi. He was one of the comics. He was also a judge too on the panel that gets to judge the roast battle. Bijan has always had a funny joke about how he hung out with some female fans and he spilled cocaine on himself, and he had some cocaine by accident apparently after a show, and funny stuff. Overall, I got to see Bijan again because I did see him at Abnormal Nights with Alex Petit and McKay Bushnell. It was about the same set, so he always has that cocaine joke, which is always funny. Keep that one for a while. 8.5 for his set. I liked it. People laughed too. Let's see. Mike Vin was there too. He also did a set. He didn't do his usual joke about how easy it is for women to get what they want when they just show off their boobs and cleavage to a guy, as opposed, like, it makes it harder for a guy to do the same thing trying to show off something off of his body in front of the face of a girlfriend or wife, and they have an opposite reaction to the same gesture. So, um, but overall, I thought his set was like 8 point. What was I thinking? 8.2 out of 10. So I think that's all I remembered. Who went up? Um, uh, and then we got your roast battle. So the roast battle, it was all right. The only thing that made it up for the whole thing was the fact that Camille Waters got to face off with Lucy Love, both great comedians, and both had some really good jokes on each other. But let me start off. So the first battle, so your panel you have here is, I guess you could say, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if Gordon Downs was actually part of the panel. He was hosting the whole thing. Um, I mean, I think he would have to hand it off to the judges to make a very objective um, judgment call as to who was the better comedian in the roast battle. So, um, first one, it was Craig Sutton versus Randy Villarba. Um, Honestly, I did not like that roast battle. It wasn't too good in my mind, my ears, my eyes. That one I have to give the roast battle that Randy won 6 out of 10. I just didn't really have a good feel for it, and the crowd didn't laugh too much on it, and the panel didn't like it that much. But they had to pick one, and they picked Randy to win. Um, Next up, I believe it was Taylor Locke versus Lauren Resnick. I've seen Lauren Resnick once before. I think she was on a dark comedy show with Victoria Parra. She's funny when she did her full set back that one time I saw her. Taylor Locke, first time seeing the guy, but I got to know him because he's the boyfriend of Mimi, Michelle Mistrella. Taylor is a UFC fan, boxing fan, which is cool. But when it came to this roast battle with Lauren, again, I did not enjoy this very much. The winner was Lauren, based off the panel, but they did say that they were confused for the whole time. And Frankie V from Channel 933 FM with Gina the Latina, the morning show. I got to meet the guy, but his comments about the Lauren versus Taylor roast battle, he kept saying that I'm just confused this whole time. And remember, you get 3 jokes to use on each other, so that was not good. But I would say it was 6.5 out of 10. So yeah, Randy and Lauren did win their respective roast battles. Now the third one, yeah, this should have been the main event of the night. This was the best roast battle. You have Camille Waters versus Lucy Love. That was an awesome roast battle. They both got 3 jokes on each other. I think 2 of their jokes really worked well on each other. The third joke for Lucy on Camille, or it might have been the overtime joke on Camille, it didn't hit that well. I didn't think it was that great of a joke, and I must have, it just went over my head. But Camille had a good overtime joke, and she has some 2 good ones. I think it might have been the third joke that didn't do too well, but I was going to say that it was going to be a draw. So apparently the judges agreed with me because it went into overtime, so they both get 1 extra joke on each other. And Camille Waters did end up winning the roast battle, so kudos to Camille Waters. I would say this roast battle was a 9 out of 10. I love seeing them both, and honestly, the panel invited Camille and Lucy Love to the roast battle up in LA, in Hollywood, so they get to do more of the roasting on each other up there, because apparently there's a roast battle event going on up there, and they've been invited personally by the panel. So I wouldn't mind going up there to see that. So I would make the drive. I don't care if it's in the middle of the week. I'll just go. Anywho, but yeah, that made up for the whole night. Now there was a main event roast battle. It was between Stephen Gobert and Mike Freeman. That one was about maybe let's say an 8 out of 10. Um, the panel did pick Mike Freeman, and they went into overtime. So I guess Mike Freeman had a better overtime joke than um, Stevens. But I felt that before the overtime, I thought Steven had won the whole thing. So, um, so yeah, the panel had different opinions. So, what do you know? So yeah, that was an 8 out of 10, and Mike Freeman won. So your winners are Randy Villarba, Lauren Resnick, Camille Waters, and Mike Freeman. Um, Honestly, overall, I would say the roast battle is a 7 out of 10. Uh, Probably should have had different comics on there. You could probably do away with maybe four of them, but definitely keep Camille and Lucy on there. Um, Other than that, decent night. And then I'm gonna finish talking about Foodieland San Diego 2023. So guys, I got to go to Foodieland. Got to go with my good friend Jackie. I've been waiting all year for this. You had over 190 vendors that came out. I think 175 of them were maybe food. And I'm glad I went. Yesterday was day one. Today is day two, and I'm going again tomorrow for day three. I'm skipping today because I'm watching obviously all these sports: UFC 288, Lakers and Warriors, Padres and Dodgers, and Canelo. And then I think there's a Kentucky Derby happening in about 2 hours from now or something. Which, by the way, I'm picking Angel of Empire to win the Kentucky Derby. There you go, guys. Other than that, I got to try out Mr. Teddy Baker. I got to try out their beef katsu sandwich. Really good. It has arugula and some veggies and some really nice mayo in there. Honestly, the meat they use for this meat katsu, really good. Good sandwich. Danish bread, those were good. This sandwich was a 9 out of 10. I loved it. I don't think they're in San Diego, so I'm glad they're down here, and I can't wait to keep trying them again. If there's another Foodie Land this year, I'll go to it. If it's close by, I'll go to it. But if they come back again next year, I'm definitely going to it. But I try to make, try new foods and try not the same stuff from last year. But when you see good food, you gotta go get it. I also got to try out some Brazilian skewers from Stick and Bites. I don't think they're local here in San Diego. Um, I tried their chicken skewer and their sirloin beef skewer. The chicken was alright. I kind of wouldn't recommend it because it didn't really blow my mind or anything. I did have their pasta salad and their vinaigrette salad, which is basically like diced tomatoes with citrus juice or something. So that was good stuff. But I think what made it worth it was the sirloin beef skewer that you should get. I wouldn't get the chicken. So the